Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is ExperiencePoints, and here we are with another Unity of Command Let's Play. So, what are we playing? Well, it's the red turn. We're going all the way to Berlin, and it's going to be quite brilliant. So, how did we do it? Well, for starters, as you'll see here, everything was done brilliantly. There was no prestige used. And this was so painful. But this was also a lot of fun. There were some missions in here that were just, oh my goodness, what can you say? We're gonna find them. I can't remember most of them, but this took me quite a bit of time. The way we're gonna go through this, I suppose the best way would be go through the entire branches, where possible, and to go from there. So to begin, we're gonna start with. Oh my, aren't these names quite more difficult to say than the other one? So I'll say them confidently and fast. Rumyantsev. We're going to start there. So the things to note about this campaign, the Axis play a little bit differently. I should say when you're playing against them, I should rather say. The Soviets have stronger tanks in this campaign, so you can generally decimate infantry. You can't go toe to toe with other heavier tanks generally, but still you can hold your own, so it is quite interesting. So just doing an overview, your supply sources basically along the road, as you see here. You won't get more than one in here. Even if you go from this point, it's 3, 2, 1. So you have to keep your road supplied. They have 3 supply sources on the road, but to achieve a brilliant victory, it's not possible to cut them off. So, what else can we say? The Soviet tanks, you'll notice some have attack value of 6 and 5. Others are 4 and 3. So it's important to know which is which. Also, you have new specialist steps, and also very important to note, you can't disband units freely. If you do, you will find that you are penalized, particularly if it's a strong unit. You can do it only once as well if it's a weak unit. So let's begin. Start by carving your way through the infantry with your artillery. You also don't want to block up the objective too much. It's that balancing, because you got to be more conscious of artillery. Now, if you can, of units blocking up, because you can't disband them. And infantry sometimes just get in the way. Okay, so try to push your armor through to the objective, taking note that their armor is a 10-6 or an 8-5. So you want to be putting your best foot forward with your strongest armor, if possible. Okay, now we've just isolated our first objective, so we can starve him out. It is important to keep a strong presence here. You can, start to wear down these troops who don't generally move. Because if you have too much of a gap, the armor of the Axis will just push through and take your supply, which means you have to start again. Okay, and they do get reinforcements, so you just need to brace yourself for that one. So as you see, the enemy is trying to push through there. The armor that they get is reasonable, but it's not undefeatable. Oh, that was unfortunate. Unfortunately so. Okay, they just managed to push through. The thing is, the unit in the city will not be resupplied until he is actually dead to the next set. At the beginning of the next turn, so we can easily fix that up again. I used the airstrike to try to attack the strongest unit, which by far was definitely the unit I just destroyed. They had a heavy tank unit there, and he had double veterancy. Okay, there we are, just putting a strong unit with the artillery. The artillery sets itself up at the end of your turn, so it does have its defense bonus with you from the beginning of play. which is quite a nice bonus there. Okay, just restacking our tank units, particularly the strongest ones. If you reinforce some of your veteran units, depending on the quality of the reinforced units, it will perhaps remove some of that veterancy experience. Okay, just making sure that back unit can't do too much damage, and it should be able to, well, it won't be able to attack next turn. Just want to make sure that our line there is safe. There's nothing worse than having your supply line cut off. And we just continue to kill what we can kill on the back left flank there, but it's all looking okay. Now I left that gap up the top, as you may notice, but I'm not particularly worried. The units can't move more than 3 steps, so they can't get out of the zone of control. Okay, more reinforcements flood in for the enemy there, but you don't need to particularly worry. Now this was quite an interesting choice they made. They wanted to really attack this one unit, and that didn't quite make much sense of why, because even Soviet units, which have a considerably weaker defense value, are able to be quite effective when they're across a river. Okay, so they moved to put their strongest units between me and the objective. Fortunately, it looks like I've lost an army unit there, or he's going to be destroyed if I don't reorder him next turn. That's early. Well, that was unfortunate. All the I should have. A good bit of advice would have been for me to reorder the specialist step and perhaps put him on the armor unit, making the armor much more effective. Okay, well, I need to take this objective down on this turn, but considering that it is completely out of supply, yet it's entrenched, so it did manage to repel that attack. So even completely suppressed units that have been out of supply for 3 turns can put up a bit of a fight. They're never just a pushover. Okay, trying to attack the biggest threat there, but luckily our armor can just rip right through it. Now I am thinking about trying to actually grab these other supply points. But otherwise I'm just trying to push my armor down and just cut off their other forces and just push the objective. It's not too much of a challenge here. It's just really bring your strongest units forward, make sure your flanks are protected, and keep pushing. Keep a unit on your objective at all times, because you never know if they can sneak one through. For example, this unit could attack this, he could attack here, and the tank could get through. You just don't know. Okay, that was expensive, but fortunate there. The enemy AI will always look to cut off any unit that's advancing, even if it means it'll be sacrificed. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't suppress the target there, but we did get an overrun, so we should be able to attack again. If you do get opportunity to attack an objective and trade, say, a 1-for-1, a 1 unit part for a 1 unit part, then it is worth taking it, because you may be killing that 1 unit, which stops you from getting that victory. So we still have 1 more turn to capture the objective, and it looks like we're just doing a bit of a cleared up operation. I've covered the supply route, so I'm definitely well supplied and should not have any troubles there. Looks like I may be able to get this in 1 turn. Sometimes attacking is quite an expensive adventure, but if you do have the numbers and you can work out, it is sometimes worth it. And there we go, a brilliant objective. No prestige used on turn 4. Well, that was quite nice. So that's how it's done. So just going back to the start there. It is use your infantry with their artillery specialist step to punch through at 1 of these points, particularly here because you have 3 units which you can use. push through, then get your heavy armor to, or you might want to start with your weaker units that are at the back, or whatever unit is at the maximum range to push through. Then start pushing through your other armor and just try to bring down these units where you can. If you need to destroy some of these units, then it's quite a good idea. Push some of these units across. Next turn, reinforcements come in and just keep pushing down. And keep a strong flank back here to stop the enemy from taking your supply point here. Well, that's how it's done. This has been Experience Points. I hope you've gained some experience from watching this, and you have a great day. Cheers!